Yeah, so today we're going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra versus the Apple iPad Pro. Now, both of these tablets are amazing, okay? And honestly, it's just going to come down to a few things and a few specs that you prefer when making your decision. Now, if you're team Apple, well, obviously you're going to lean towards the iPad. And if you're team Android, well, you're going to lean towards them, right? But if you're like me and you're in the middle and you have both Android and Apple products, then, you're just looking for something that best overall fits your needs, right? So let's break down what you're getting from both. Now, before we do that, I like to break down what a tablet is and the main things that a tablet is used for. The way I like to look at a tablet is it's not quite a cell phone and it's not quite a laptop, but it's the perfect in between, right? It's the perfect blend of both. Everything you could possibly do on your phone or everything you could possibly do on your laptop, you could do on a tablet. And that's the thing I like about it. It's not as small as your phone and it's not as big as a laptop. So that's the kind of way I like to explain what it is. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is the price. Now, the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra is here for $1,200, right? And the iPad is starting at $799 for the 11-inch and $1,099 for the 12.9-inch. Just with that alone, if you're somebody that cares about pricing, well, you can lean towards the iPad. When it comes to the colors, you got the beige and the graphite with the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra, and you got the space gray and the silver with the iPad. When it comes to the camera, you got 13 megapixels for the back camera, and for the front camera, you got 12 megapixels for the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra. And when it comes to the iPad, you got 12 megapixels in the front, 12 megapixels in the back. When it comes to the battery, you got 11,200 mAh and you got 7538 mAh with the iPad, basically meaning you're gonna get more battery life when it comes to the Tab S9 Ultra. Now let's take a look at the RAM and the storage. Now, for those of you that don't know what RAM and storage is basically how much programs you can run at the same time. So the more RAM you got, the more apps you could keep open, the more programs you can run, the faster the iPad and the tablet is, things like that, right? Now, the storage is basically how much space you have to store pictures, videos, and files and things like that. Now, when it comes to the RAM and the storage, you got 12 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage, 12 gigabytes or 512 gigabytes of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a 1 terabyte of storage. Those are the options you got when it comes to the Tab S9 Ultra. Now, when it comes to the iPad, you got a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to RAM and storage. They give you 8 gigabyte and 16 gigabytes when it comes to the RAM. And as far as the storage, you got 128, 256, 512, 1 terabyte, and 2 terabytes of storage when it comes to the iPad. So if that's a deciding factor for you, you need a little bit more storage or you need a little bit more RAM, you like to do more things simultaneously, well, then the iPad is for you. Now, if you're somebody that likes to put micro SDs into your iPad, you like to transfer files and things like that, well, you got to go with the Tab S9 Ultra because the iPad does not have any type of micro SD capability. Now, some of the differences is you're going to get a bigger screen with the Samsung tablet because it has a 14.6-inch screen, while the iPad is going to offer you smaller options. Now, the Samsung tablet, it can survive spills and water, and if that's something that's important to you, maybe you giving it to a small child, then that might be something that you might go with because the child could get it wet and spill water on it and it'll still be surviving while the iPad won't. Another selling point is that the Samsung tablet already comes with a special pen for drawing and writing, while the iPad, you got to buy that separately and costs a little bit more money. Another difference is the iPad Pro is faster and it can store more things like videos and pictures because it gives you those options of bigger storage space and more RAM. So if you like Apple devices a lot, you use Apple a lot, and you like all Apple products, it's great to just stick with the Apple lines and go with the iPad. And at the end of the day, both tablets are great, but you need to think about what you prefer and things that you are looking for when making your decision. Yeah, man, if y'all was feeling this content, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and we gonna have some more tech, niggly dope stuff coming for you soon. All right, so let's do it.